What's going on, Moneybag? Been a crazy few days, that's for sure. Usually second bounce has more value. Yeah, usually on a second leg you'll see more of a sharp reversal, which we're currently seeing. Pretty solid. We made some good money today. Had a lot of trades, pretty stressful day. Didn't get a lot of sleep last night. Had to wake up early, get some things done. Then I got straight into trading. I'll go over all my trades here in a few minutes. We're going to get started here shortly. What's going on, man? Good to see you, man. I realized you joined yesterday, right at the end of the stream. Man, I'm tired. Holy shit. I might need a nap after the stream. Bitcoin has been killing my sleep. Alright, let's get started. I'll turn off my screen here. So you guys look at the top left, my current positions are still relatively the same. I am long Zuo still, looking really good on Zuo. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with my Zuo position, but if you have, we had a really good day today. Sadly, it's retracing a little bit, but massive move up on Zuo today. This move put us up over 100% on our options contract. We were up 125. Now this pullback, we're up about 100. So it pulled back about 25%. Our spot is up about 10%. So looking really good on that as well. We also took a lot of trades on Bitcoin. I'm not going to go over all of them. If you guys want to see all my trades, as always, you need to join the Discord. We traded pretty heavily yesterday. So I'm not going to go over all of my trades, but there were a lot of little trades in here. One trade I will go over is one that fucking kind of pissed me off a little bit. I took a short on my high risk account right before I went to bed. I put in, or hold on, what time was this? Was this before I went to bed? Yeah, this was right before I went to bed. I put in a $100 trail, and sadly, it bounced up and stopped me out right before dumping. So that really sucked. We could have probably, yeah, that probably would have doubled our account. This one little trade probably would have doubled my account. How big of a failure was that? It was like 8,300 down to like 78. Let's see. 8,300. Yeah, that was 7%. No, it probably wouldn't have doubled my account. That would have been about 30 to 50% on my account just in that one move. But sadly, we got stopped out on a trail for a 1% gain, so that kind of sucked. But that's the problem with using trails when you're in a very volatile market. Your trails are going to get hit all the time. So the market is so volatile, your trails are going to get hit very easily. But with my high risk account, I cannot risk letting that account just whipsaw. You know what I mean? I can't risk these trades doing these crazy ass wicks like it currently is. So I have to use very tight trails. So I went ahead and put in a $100 trail. I let it run, and we got hit. Another thing that sucks about this trade is, so what this trade was basically when I'm in a long right now, right? So my main account's in a really big long. So I didn't want to leave my long unprotected. So when it broke down, I wanted to short on my main account, flatten it out, and then short on my high risk account to make some profit. So not only did I want to flatten, I wanted to make some money during that short. So my high risk account short was the trade that was supposed to make me money. The hedge was there just to hedge, which still made me money, but it was just a hedge, so I only made money that I was losing, if that makes sense. So this triggered my short. We hit my short, and then it nuked all the way down to my level. It bounced off this level to the fucking dollar again. This is that same level that we went over before. This is that same level. I really hit TradingView. Stop changing shit, man. I love how they don't even talk about how they changed this. It's such a small detail, but I use this program every day, all day. Their small little changes piss me off. So you see how, like, when I'm dragging my chart, look what it does. It, like, moves. It like, slowly moves on its own. This is so frustrating. This small little detail is so frustrating. I don't know why they did this, but it's really irritating. They added like an inertia to your drag and drop. It's really frustrating. But all right, sorry, back to what I was saying. Bounced right off this level, like to the dollar, just as we saw that very first bounce. So we saw that very first bounce, boom, and then we saw that bounce again. And then we full retraced and nuked all the way back up to this pivot at 84. So when I saw this happen, that's when I put in the trail. So sorry, it wasn't before I went to bed. I put in the trail when I woke up. So I got entered on the trade when I went to bed, and then when I woke up, I put in a trail because I didn't want to lose money when I was so profitable already. I was already 3 to 4% in the money, and then it retraced. So I didn't want to let that go against me. So I put in a trail, and then my trail got hit. I appreciate that, money back. But yeah, it's just these little things. It's so annoying too because you see this what's new thing? They always tell you like all the shit they do, but this is not all the shit they change. If you guys use TradingView as much as I do, there are so many little things they change they don't tell you they changed. They're just like, oh, they won't notice, man. Let's not say anything. They won't notice. We notice, man. It's irritating. Hey, let's see. Another trade that I can go over. I took a hedge, like I told you guys on my main. Took profit on half my hedge at 78.30. This actually almost pissed me off because let's go to September here. Look at where this bounced. What is the low of that candle? 78.30. My take profit was 78.30. So I was pretty scared that I didn't even get filled because I wasn't home. I had to run some errands today. So I wasn't home, and my bots were down in Discord because the API crashed. You gotta love BitMEX. So the API crashed. All of our bots were down. So I couldn't see if my orders got filled or not. And so I'm driving, and I see that Bitcoin. I'm at a stop sign or stoplight. I always look at Bitcoin when I'm at stoplights. Try to stay off my phone when I'm driving. But I look at Bitcoin. It's back to like 81, and I'm like, dude, that thing better have filled me at 78.30. It better have filled me. Like to the dollar. If that thing bounced and didn't fill me, I'd be pissed. But then we nuked again, so I was like, okay, I definitely got filled. But I actually did get filled. I actually did get filled on this candle. So if we didn't nuke here, I would have caught the bottom to the dollar, which would have been beautiful. But we did nuke again. And what sucks about this nuke here is my second take profit for the other 50% of my hedge was at, let me pull it up here. It was at 76.30. 76.30. So we missed the low here by $70. So about, what is that, 1%? Yeah, about 1%. So we missed the low by about 1%. That would have been beautiful because this is my entry. So I would have entered, take profit, full retrace. And then I could enter again here. So that would have been a perfect trade. But sadly, we retraced. So I'm still in half my hedge. I'm still hedging half, 50%. So right now I'm net long, hedging 50%. We also longed Ethereum during the dip. I longed Ethereum pretty hard. Look at how stupid that is. Who thought that was a good idea? Sorry, I wasn't talking about Ethereum. I'm talking about this stupid scrolling thing. This is so stupid. But yeah, so I longed Ethereum. We are doing very good on Ethereum right now. My average is 157. So we are looking really good. We're already up 4%. Beautiful long on Ethereum. Are you implying I could build a better exchange as long as the API was scalable? Dude, BitMEX, I talk a lot of shit about BitMEX, and I'm still on BitMEX. So I'm being the type of person I fucking hate. Somebody who constantly complains about something but then doesn't do anything to fix it. I really should be on Deribit. I really should be on Deribit. Sadly, all of our bots in Discord are built onto BitMEX, so it would take me a few months probably to switch over to Deribit. But yeah, so Ethereum, we longed Ethereum, still long Bitcoin. My high risk account is currently flat. We're sitting at nearly a 50% gain on the month on our high risk account, and we're currently flat, no drawdown. So we are looking really good. If you guys are in the Discord, I really hope you guys have been paying attention to our trades. I hope you guys are making money because we are fucking killing it. This month is about double last month, and last month was a huge month. My main account is up about 10%. We currently have some drawdown, but I don't calculate that into our percentage because these trades are not closed. We only calculate closed trades. We have a little bit of drawdown currently, but this is long-term holds. If I closed right now on all of my trades as they currently stand, we would be we'd be down probably about 5% on my main account. My Coinbase account is up 17%, and I'm not going to be touching that anytime soon, so that's going to be locked in. So we're doing very well. Sticky is up, I think, close to 30 to 50% on his accounts. We're going to be releasing a monthly report as soon as the month is over. Also, I'm going to be doing something a little differently moving forward. So instead of just releasing an image for our monthly reports, I'm going to be making a video, which will probably just turn into a live stream. So I'll be making a live stream, turning it into a video, going over all of our trades for the month. And I'll also be adding something to the website that logs all of our monthly reports. So we're going to have like a running list of all of our monthly reports on the website. So all that's going to come pretty soon. Trying to think of if I missed anything. The new indicator is fully released. I'm going to make the video very soon on that. I haven't made a video just yet. I'm going to make that video probably, what's today? Probably tomorrow or Saturday. The indicator doesn't really need a video. That's why I'm not in a rush to make a video on it. But I will make a video tomorrow or Saturday. Alright, let me keep up with chat. Sorry, guys. Man said, dude, I had a short at Ethereum at 210. Had a similar shit happen. Yeah, you gotta watch out with the trails, man. The volatility is really killing the trails right now. Oh, and I'm also an idiot. I completely forgot that September contract closes tomorrow. So I'm currently hedging on September. Thankfully, we're actually like break even right now. So I actually probably should do this right now. I should probably do this right now. I need to roll over my September contract into December because September expires tomorrow. So I need to actually roll this contract over. I'm actually going to go ahead and do that right now. So give me a second here. Because we're back to break even on my head, so it's a perfect time. Okay, hold on. Let me Dude, I hate that shit. It's something so small, but it's so irritating. Holy crap. I hate that scrolling thing, dude. It's so stupid. Who thought that was a good idea? We're basically gonna take like no profit here, but I'm not. This isn't supposed to take profit. This is just to. Yeah, I'm not even gonna do a trade on this. This doesn't make any sense. I'm just gonna roll this over. I am technically taking profit, but I'm just gonna roll this over. Okay, hold on. Let me All right, I need to close this. Need to close this, and I need to roll it over into December. All right, we're rolled over. We're rolled over. Okay. I'm not going to count that as a trade, so I'm not going to log that in the Discord. It was just a rollover. I'm not gonna count that. Even though it was a slight profit, it was like 0.5%, but not gonna count it. All right, so our new average is 81.35 on December. What is that, XBTZ? Is your VWAP default? This VWAP? No, this is a 3-day VWAP. This is a 3-day VWAP. Your Veritone position's looking nice. Yeah, I got in Veritone too early. I went in for the accumulation. The accumulation failed. So we lost that trade. Yeah, they spiked up pretty hard today. Look pretty good. I want to see them regain this like 420 range. Zuo is starting to hit this level that I'm watching. We're still up 100% on Zuo. We were up 125. I could have closed for 125. That's a massive profit. But I think long-term, Zuo is still looking really good. What's going on, Sneaky? See, like, this is one of those plays that, like, JMA talks about, like, gaps or gifts. This wasn't a gap, but this is kind of the same mentality, where you see, like, a massive candle. I could have taken profit immediately, just because that was such a big candle. My problem is, we're just now breaking out of this range. So we have so much more room to run if we actually break out of this range. So I don't like how much it's retraced. That is pretty ugly. So if we do start to show some bearish strength tomorrow, I might close. But we'll see. If I closed anything, it would be my options. I'm not going to close my spot. I'm going to let my spot run. My spot's up about 10%. My options are up about 100%. So the options we could take profit on. The spot, no reason to close that. For sure, I'll take a gamble if it doesn't break down from this range. I mix a lot of your guys' names up because your names are different from Discord and Twitch and YouTube. Are you guys in the Discord? I know Fortunate is. I'm not sure about the other guys here. The ES has regained its VWAP, so that's pretty good. Showing some bullish pressure here. You don't use Discord often? Yeah, I never really used Discord too much until I got really into trading. I keep you on my third screen like a podcast. Yeah, that's what a lot of people do with like the trading streams. They like listen during work, or they listen while they're driving and stuff. Yeah, I can give you guys a little taste of how many trades we've been dishing out here in Discord. These are our MEX trade results. So this is where we post our closed trades. We've been trading a lot recently. And you can see we post our net gains and losses. So Sticky just took a loss on a long. We have a lot of net gains coming in. I trade a lot more actively than Sticky. Sticky get a nice 12.5% gain there, 2x leverage, beautiful. I do a lot more scalping and day trading compared to the other guys. But we can go to the start of September here. So when I go over the September monthly report, I'm going to go over all of these trades. And we'll talk about all of our trades for the month. So you can see, I don't want to count them on stream, but we took a lot. Like, just off the top of my head, that looks like close to 30. Probably close to 30 or 40 trades. I'm gonna go over those trades as best I can to my memory when we close out the month. What's my entry on Bitcoin? So my entry for my long-term position is 85. I started buying too early, way too early. I started buying around 86. I added on around 84. I also added on around 82 and 81. I didn't add any in this dip yet. I haven't added any in this dip. I could have added in this dip pretty hard. But I haven't just yet. I fully hedged at 81. So really the only losses that we had were from 85 to 81. Those were our only losses. And those aren't even losses because we haven't realized those losses. That's just drawdown. So our drawdown was from 85 to 81. I fully hedged 1-to-1, or actually a little bit over 1 because I took some shorts on my high risk account as well. So from 85 to 81 drawdown, 81 down to 76, I made profit on a short. So I hedged all the way down. And I'm still currently at 50% hedged. So 50% hedged at 81, and then long from 85. I'm looking to continue to add on the dip as long as we continue to show signs of buy pressure. So if we go back down to like 79, 78 here, and we start to bounce, or even if we go into like 77, 76, I'm going to add on to my long. This is a very long-term position. I'm looking to hold on to this position for at least a month or two. This is my first like big long-term position that I've built for the past like 4 or 5 months. Oh yeah, sorry, Moneybag. I saw that earlier. I forgot to mention that on stream. You said Tron C. It's got a triple MACD bull div on the 4-hour. Tron C. Let's take a look. I always say Tron. It's because it's TRX. Let's take a look. Yeah, it looks pretty good. You're forming a pivot. You do have a Momo bottom coming in, or it's predicting a bottom. You have a warning. You don't have any buy pressure just yet. You are starting to accumulate a little bit. You've got a 15-minute accumulation. Beautiful pivot. So you had that that pivot come in around 58 cents. We are currently around 60, so we are bouncing a little bit here. I wouldn't trade this, though. I don't trade stuff like this. I think you mentioned this before. But I don't trade stuff like this. It's very, very low value. Very strong downtrend. You're constantly gapping downward. So the value on this stock is just really not there. You could definitely trade this for like a day trade or something. Try to get some nice little scalps out of it. But I definitely wouldn't put too much money in this long term. Not the kind of stock that I like to trade. But yeah, I do see what you're talking about. It does look like it's gaining some buy pressure here. You've got me up at work? That's funny, man. I wonder if anybody's ever got yelled at for watching me at work. That would be a pretty funny story. Do you guys who watch me at work, are you guys allowed to be like doing stuff like that, or you just don't give a shit? Quick get in and get out. I've been watching this for a while. Made some money riding the trail. Yeah, it definitely looks like one of those stocks you could get like a 10-cent move out of pretty quickly, which is a massive move for a stock that low value. Microsoft's starting to look really good. You had a buy signal on the trail. You had a really nice Harami candle here breaking upward. And now you have a nice hammer candle following that. So if we get to this like 141 range, this could look really good. The problem is the market's not doing too good right now. The market's kind of double topping. So big stocks like Microsoft typically do not do well when the stock market is not doing well. If the overall stock market is pulling back, Microsoft is typically not going to do very well. I'm in an office, so I have privacy. Probably why I can get away with it. Also funny, me and the CEO are only people into crypto in the company. Company about 50, I gotcha. What's going on, Andre? I'm really glad I picked up Ethereum there during that dip. I'm really glad that I closed my first Ethereum trade too. It was a beautiful trades on Ethereum. I closed my first trade for a small scalp because I was not comfortable with that position that I had. And now I'm building a new position. I think Ethereum looks better here long term than Bitcoin does. Ethereum has a... let me go to a cleaner chart here. Yeah, here we go. So, Ethereum has a cleaner point of origin test. So you guys know I like my point of origin trades. You got a point of origin here, massive breakout, and then we failed that high. So you retrace downward to that point of origin. We don't have that on Bitcoin. So if we go to Bitcoin, Bitcoin has a point of origin, but it's only this like small move here. It's not that entire move. Which if we look at Ethereum, it's not the entire move either, but it's definitely a lot more of the move. You see what I mean? This just looks like a stronger support on Ethereum for some reason. Another thing we can look at here for Bitcoin. Let's go to the weekly. Had a beautiful test of the 50 EMA. We talked about that on stream the past few days. Perfect test of the 50 EMA. And now we're bouncing off of it, looking really good. If we pull up our Fibonacci, I've been talking about this for a long time. So hopefully you guys have been paying attention to stream. We have this buy zone here between this 50 and 618. This is your long-term buy zone. So if you're in like a massive bull market and you want to buy the dip, this is where you want to be buying. The buy zone between the 50% retracement and the golden ratio. That is the best place to be buying long-term. So I started buying a little too early. I started buying around the 50% retracement. I should have started buying where I typically buy, around the 50% of the buy zone. So I've gone over this since like the very first day of my stream. This little zone, it's like the buy zone of the buy zone, basically. The buy zone of the buy zone would have literally bought the dip almost. So if you're looking at the buy zone of the buy zone, the middle of that zone, you had a perfect buy so far. I don't know if we're going to continue to die here, but if this does bounce, this was a beautiful buy. So looking back on it, I should have definitely started buying a lot lower. I don't know why I started buying around 86. I felt like 86 was going to see a lot more buyers come in. But 86 kind of got destroyed. But I'm still only, on my main account, I'm only like 2x leveraged. So I'm not even highly leveraged. I feel comfortable going up to like 5 here. I could go up to like 5x leverage on my Bitcoin long and still feel comfortable. So if we start to bounce here, I'll probably start adding some more around, like I said, like 76, maybe 78. But yeah, so we have that buy zone there. Let me get rid of these. Let's go look at Ethereum here. So Ethereum, if we're looking at the Fibonacci, it looks worse than Bitcoin. We've already broken our buy zone. That was the first little section of the wicks here. They just didn't bounce. They died. We pulled back, retraced that 50%, and then failed. So Ethereum looks pretty ugly when you look at the Fibonacci. But if you look at price action, we look pretty damn good. We have a perfect point of origin candle test, and we're bouncing off of it already. Don't you think all crypto will fall? Oh, no, 100%. I think Ethereum will follow Bitcoin. But I have a feeling that Ethereum's going to outperform Bitcoin. So I think when Ethereum bounces, it's probably going to outperform Bitcoin. So we might see Ethereum BTC start to do really good. It's just a hunch, though. I don't really have a lot of analysis to back that up. Just looking at the chart, the first feeling that I get, I just feel like Ethereum's going to bounce harder. Damn, layering fib levels, mind blown. Yeah, you can definitely look at multiple fibs. They line up very often. It's basically like the whole thought process behind like Elliott wave is like fibs on fibs. Ripple actually looks pretty decent. You are recovering. I can't really do a Fibonacci though. Let me see. Let's take Binance. Yeah, Ripple's dead. You can't really do a Fibonacci on Ripple. That's not going to get you anywhere. But same thing, look where we found support here. So this is where you knew that this was going to get very ugly. I talk about this in the free course too. If you guys go to the website, look at the course, go to the I forget what section it's in. I think it's in the price hack, or it's in the technical analysis section, I believe. But I talk about the Fibonacci and I talk about the buy zones and stuff. But this is where you knew it was going to get ugly for Ripple. When you broke that 618, that's when you knew it was going to get ugly. It looks like Ethereum. It kind of does look like Ethereum, but when you compare the coins together, they don't trade very alike. There's not a lot of similarities in the way they trade. Ripple is a very strong like pump and dump coin. It has like strong pumps and then bleeds. But no, it does look similar. That's why if this doesn't bounce here, I'm going to be closing my positions on Ethereum, especially on Bitcoin as well. Cuz like this is an ugly retracement here. We want to see this regain these levels. If we don't see a strong bounce here in the next week or so, my long-term positions are going to be dead. I'm not going to be looking at them for too long. Do you guys think that the impeachment process of Trump is going to affect the markets? It shouldn't affect crypto too much, but it might affect legacy. I don't think it's even going to be a quote-unquote process. I don't think really anything's going to happen, so I don't think it will have too much of an effect on Legacy. We'll see how it goes. Political signals are really hard to read. 100%. 100% they are. Equities, yes. Crypto, no. By transitive property, everything so interconnected it will have a spillover. Ethereum looking really good here. So is Bitcoin, bouncing pretty heavily. I hate that I didn't close my hedge, like my hedge didn't hit its profit. I missed my target by like 1%. I should have closed my hedge on the retrace, but it's not a good idea to do that with hedges. You really want to let hedges kind of run. You don't want to like close hedges on bounces or get scared and close them. But this would have been a perfect trade if it closed at the bottom and then retraced. So close. So basically right now I'm 1x on Ethereum, about 3x on Bitcoin, and then about 1.5x on my hedge on my short. So basically my hedge is just eating into my Ethereum profits. Very strong hammer candle coming in, seeing a lot of buy pressure. This was actually a really good, this is exactly what I look for on my high risk account. I wasn't paying too much attention due to stream, but this is exactly what I look for my trades on my high risk account. We see a shift in trend. You have a lot of buy pressure here. So you have your buy pressure, that's good. So you see buy pressure coming in. You're pushing up towards your pivot, which is your resistance. You also have your trail, which is your resistance. You have that break of your resistance. And you're also turning white on your OTS. And you're above the zero line on the Momo. This is a perfect trade on... not perfect because you're still below the 50. But this is a damn near perfect trade on my high risk strategy. Basically, like this trade here and this trade here are the reason that I've made 50% this month on my high risk account. Trading breaks of support or breaks of resistance, using the Momo and the OTS, and the other indicators we've got going. So like right here, you're below the trail. You have black candles, which indicates a bearish trend. You're breaking a support. The Momo is below zero, indicating bearish momentum. And then boom, nuked it. Beautiful trades. Beautiful trades. Same thing up here. Look at this shift. You see how we're going from white to black? That's another beautiful trade. I traded this. This is one of our trades in Discord. I traded this here. I closed at... I think it was right around here. I took profit. We shifted black. I could have shifted. I should have reversed this. I said that in Discord too. I should have reversed this. But I just closed my long. So we went from white to black. Look at the Momo. We flipped bearish. You have that downtrend. And now you start to accumulate. You have that uptrend, but it's very sloppy. You don't really have a lot of pressure here. So it gets very sloppy. What did I just do? Oh, I switched time frames on accident. So you have accumulation, but you're very sloppy. The Momo's not very clean. Price action is not very clean. So I didn't trade this. But then we start to see a really clean shift here. You turn black. You break your pivots. Your Momo's flipped. So you see that trend reversal. You try to push higher, but you're not able to get above that pivot, which is your resistance. And then you fail downward. And then you have that nuke. And I also traded this, I believe. I can't remember if it was this one or the next one. I traded one of these. But yeah, so basically, if you guys have the indicators, super easy. You follow the Momo histogram when it's lining up with the OTS. And then that is almost your perfect indication of which way the trend's going to go. And then you just have to throw in some basic price action, support and resistance, pivots, whatever you want to use for your price action to give you that edge. Is white OTS also on longer time horizons? Your big black candle saved me money on my long entry. Yeah, the white and black is fucking beautiful on long time frames. You can look at it on a weekly here. Look at the weekly. I called this out on Twitter. We went from black to white. We started an uptrend. And then now we're black. So starting a downtrend, which is very scary. I'm really hoping that this week pushes higher. Or the next week retraces and this was just a trap. But we will see. Because if we zoom out, when this shifted white to black, that is what started the bear market. So I really do not want to see that again. But I'm fully prepared to trade this. If I have to take a loss on my longs and make it back trading the downside, I'm okay with that. I don't care. I'm fully prepared to let go of my longs. I'm not going to hold these longs all the way down to 4,000. You know what I mean? Like when I say I'm buying the dip long term, that doesn't mean I'm just going to hodl till the end of the day. You know, like end of days. I'm not going to hodl into the apocalypse. If it starts breaking like 7,000, I'm going to start looking to take some pretty strong shorts. I'm not going to hold my long until it bleeds me dry. You can't become emotionally attached to your positions, you know what I mean? You gotta learn to cut them. Basically, the strategy that I just went over for my scalping is the same exact strategy that I used on my main account and my high-risk account in September. And that's how we did so well in September. We made 13% on my main, 24 or 5% on my high risk. All I did was I sat here and stared at a chart, and I waited for the 3-hour and the 4-hour OTS to turn white or black, and then I waited for the Momo to confirm. That's it. It's really not that hard. And we can see here on the 4-hour OTS, it's so clean on Bitcoin. You have black to white, the Momo's bullish, it's bullish. You have white to black, the Momo's bearish, it's bearish. You obviously have a few little dips or little traps here. So you got to be careful. you have to understand what is a trending market and what is a ranging market. This strategy works very well in trending markets. But like same thing here. Black to white, Momo's bullish, uptrend. White to black, Momo's choppy, so really no confirmation. And then Momo turns bearish here and here. And then you have that dip down to the supports. But once again, this is a ranging market. You want to be careful. You want to be careful selling the lows in a ranging market. How do you know if you're heading into a range real time? So if you watched my pivot video, how to trade, not these pivots, but how to. So I changed the name of my pivots because the OTS has pivots. That strategy, I changed the name of that strategy to buy pressure, sell pressure. So when you're trading real time, you want to look for buy pressure and sell pressure, stuff like this. And that's how you'll tell when you're entering a ranging market. So you want to look for that on a longer time frame. Obviously, you want to look for that on a higher time frame. So like you can see buy pressure coming in. So that's entering a range. Then you're breaking out of that range. Buy pressure coming in. You're entering that range. And you can see how you're ranging from that. So you want to look for very defined highs and lows. So like here you have sell pressure. That's a defined high. You have buy pressure. That's a defined low. That enters a range. And then you break down from that range. So once you break that range, you're entering a trending market. Does that make sense? So you want to look for sell pressure and buy pressure. And when it ranges in between those levels, once you have your defined high and your defined low, that becomes your range. So tie together my pivot video with my accumulation distribution video. That's how you determine if it's in a range. Because if you have your defined high and you have your defined low, that becomes either distribution or accumulation. So if it's on the move down, that's accumulation. If it's on a move up, that's distribution. It's a little confusing. It takes some time to get used to. So it looks like we're entering a range with our tail wicks. Yeah, so right now, depending on what time frame you're looking at. So like if I was trading this on a 15 minute, we have very strong buy pressure coming in. So you have buy pressure coming in. Now this becomes your range low. So you have your range low. So now if we start to see strong sell pressure, this becomes your range high. So now you have your range low, you have your range high. This becomes a ranging market until one of these is broken. So like here on a 5 minute, you have this very nice bottom wick. It also gives you a pivot. That becomes your range low. And then you start to push higher. And then you have this very strong top wick. That becomes your range high. And then you start to come down and test your range low. You bounced off of it here and here. But then you broke through it. So once you broke through it on that strong break, that becomes your trend. So you're trending. And now you're ranging again. This will make a lot more sense if you watch my pivot video and watch my accumulation distribution video. I go over ranging and like trading pivots, buy pressure, sell pressure. Highly recommend those videos. More touches. See that's a golden question for trading. And everybody is divided on that. So some traders say more touches of resistance support means the support is stronger. Some traders say the more touches, the weaker it is. So I'm kind of conflicted. The way I look at it is, let me draw this out, it'll make it easier. So the way that I look at it is, let's say this is a support level. As long as you have a sharp bounce, sharp as in a V, as long as you have like a V bounce, that support is still strong. So even if you have like 5 V bounces, I think that support is still strong. Once you start to kind of, let's say you V, you bounced off of it, you bounce off of it again, and then maybe you start to kind of come down, and then you just kind of consolidate on it. Now that support is weak. That support has been used. Piercing bottoms are one of the best signs of a strong support. So when you have piercing bottoms, those are good signs of support. Same with piercing tops. So like if we look at the daily on Bitcoin, we have this pivot here. We have a pivot bar. Support, support, almost support, or support, and then break. So we had 4 tests of that pivot. So what did we see here? We saw a V reversal, a U reversal, so an Adam and Eve. You didn't even touch it here, so you bounced a little early. And then another U reversal, and then a break. So you only had 1 V reversal. 1 sharp reversal. Every reversal after that was kind of dying off. You had the U reversals. So the atom bottoms, the atoms are piercing bottoms. Those are going to be stronger. The Eve bottoms are kind of, they're like testing the support. Yeah, okay, the buyers are coming in. The atom bottom is like, okay, down, support, boom. The Eve bottom is like, test. All right, buyers came in. It kind of gives the buyers a little bit of time to see if they want to buy it. The V bottoms, the atom bottoms, you don't really have a lot of time there. That tests the support and goes. So the way I look at it is, V's are strong, U's are strong, but they're weaker. And then if you can't continue to V bottom or V top, those levels are weak. Another thing that you can do, this is a little more advanced, but another thing you can do is, so like we see here, you have the pivot, you come down, you have a lower high, right? So you're putting in a lower high. You fail downward to the pivot. We have that V bottom. So when you have V bottoms, and when you have like sharp bottoms, sharp reversals, you want those reversals to break into new highs or break into new lows. You don't want those to like consolidate. You don't want sharp piercing bottoms to consolidate. So when you have this, you have a support, you have a sharp bottom, we did not want to see this do this. This sharp bottom should have broken to a new high. Because this sharp bottom did not break into a new high, you are entering a like distribution, a more of a bear market, you know what I mean? So that is like, that's one of your first signs that your buyers are kind of running out of steam. Because if you have, let's say, a high, and you come down and test a support, and then bounce off of it like instantly, you want to see that start to break into that new high. You want to see that break into the uptrend. But if you see what we saw here, where you have like a lower high, and then you come off and you test the support, but then you're like, I can't really break above that resistance. Well, you can't break above that resistance because your buyers are you're gone. The buyers are gone. The buyers want to buy the support. They don't want to buy the resistance. It's the same ideology as like auction theory, right? So if you're looking at, let's just do fixed range. Let's go from the pivot all the way over. Okay, so let's bring this to the front. Okay. Let me turn this other stuff off. So basically the same ideology behind like auction theory and like volume profile, where your buyers think that this is a fair price. They like buying this price. But when it bounces higher, you have that V reversal. The volume starts to kind of die off here. So your buyers don't think that this is a fair price. It's like telling your friend, hey dude, you should buy Bitcoin. And your friend's like, yeah, Bitcoin's at 9,400. Sure, I'll buy some Bitcoin. And then you go tell your other friend, hey dude, you should buy some Bitcoin. And he looks at the chart and he's like, 12,000? Nah, I'm okay, man. I don't want to buy Bitcoin at 12,000. That's exactly what's happening here. Just think of that, but think of that on a scale of millions, basically. You have thousands of people trading millions of contracts on that same thought process. They're like, yeah, 9,400, that sounds pretty good. 12,000, that doesn't sound too good. The fair value is not there. This is not a fair value. And you can see that with the lower high. You can see that with the volume failing. So basically, long story short, V bottoms or V tops should break into new lows if it's a top. And they should break into new highs if it's a bottom. If they don't do that, you're entering a range, you're entering consolidation, you're entering accumulation, distribution. You said, now looking at it, looks like strong rejection Vs at those local highs at 14K and 13K. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. What does the blue candle mean? Just the current bar? It means a pivot is forming. We haven't had a blue pivot form since way back here at 3,400. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to form a bottom. So there are two types of pivots. Or there's four types, actually, because there's blue and orange. And there's two types of blue. There's two types of orange. They're only marked as one candle because it would take us fucking years to come up with an algorithm to determine which candle's which, because it would only be hindsight. So there's two types of pivot bars. There's pivot bars like this. There was another blue pivot, was there? Did I miss it? Yeah, sorry, there's one way back here. But this one happened recently. This one happened way back in November. Okay, so there's two types of pivots. There are I don't know how to explain this without giving away kind of how we designed these pivots. Okay, so I've talked about this before on stream. I talk about if the pivots are not instantly broken within a few bars, they become very solid tops and bottoms, right? So the pivots that are not broken within a few bars, those are like your standard kind of support and resistance pivots. The pivots that are broken within a few bars, those are like exhaustion pivots. Those are pivots that are forming when price needs to kind of take a break. Price needs to like consolidate a little bit, it needs to take a breather, and then it's going to break down into the same direction. So that's what's scary about this pivot. This pivot is either going to become the bottom, or this is going to become a pullback for a few bars, and we're going to see an instant nuke. Because there's only two types of pivots, like we see here. This pivot pulled back for one bar and then broke. You had your breakout. Boom. And then you saw a massive increase in price. Now, let's see. Kind of, this pivot was a little ugly. So this pivot, same thing. You broke out almost instantly. And you were not acting as kind of a very solid resistance level. Same thing here. You broke out instantly, and it acted as a support. Okay, so this is a perfect example. Perfect example here. We have two different kinds of blue pivots. We have the bottom blue pivots, and we have the pullback blue pivots. So these pivots acted as an exhaustion. You saw a breakdown. It was exhausted. It had to take a break, and then we nuked it. Same thing here. Nuked it. It had to take a break. Nuked it again. But now look at this pivot. This pivot, you tried to break it, and then instantly found support. And that became our bottom. 3,400 pushed us all the way up to 14,000. So you have those two different kinds of pivots. You have the exhaustion pivots, and you have the support and resistance pivots. There's no way for us to color code them, because to color code, to figure out if it's an exhaustion or a support and resistance pivot, you have to wait and see how it plays out. So it's only a hindsight. It's only a hindsight tool. It's really hard to trade. It's hard to predict. You can't predict it. You have to react. You can't be proactive. You have to be reactive with the pivots. So like perfect example here, if these pivots are not broken instantly, they become very strong tops and bottoms. So like you had that pivot, it was not broken instantly. You don't have that swing. So we call them swing patterns, swing failure patterns. You don't have that swing pattern, and boom, you nuked it. These ones, you have that swing pattern. You swing up, break. Swing up, break. Does that make sense? So like you have a resistance pivot, you either swing through it and then break, or sorry, swing and then break, or that just becomes resistance. And then same thing with support. You either swing and break it, or it becomes support instantly. You have to wait to see how they play out. So look at the weekly. The weekly has good examples. The weekly called the top, called the bottom, but you didn't really know these were tops and bottoms until you let it play out. you had to kind of let it play out a little bit. So like this, look at these two. These were just pullback pivots. You had the break, pullback, boom. Break, pullback, boom. Yeah, so think of them, there's two types. There's exhaustion, where it kind of has to calm down a little bit, and there's support and resistance. That's why people are always asking me like, hey dude, what's the difference between the Auto SR and the Oasis Trading Suite? Because they see the pivots, and yes, they do line up with the support and resistance lines on the Auto SR a lot. They are coded completely differently. There's not a single line of code that lines up with each other in how we find the pivots and how we find the support and resistance. So like if we look at the Auto SR here, let me turn off everything else. We'll just look at the support and resistance lines. Oh shit. Let's go here. Let's do a little bit of this. Let's make these a little darker. Let's make these like blue. There we go. Let's turn that price line off. I think it's a little obnoxious. Okay, so these are the Auto SR support and resistance lines. These are much more textbook. These are like textbook support and resistance. You can see how it gave you a resistance. You came up, you tapped it, boom, nuked it. It gave you a support, bounced off it immediately, boom. Support, boom. And then you have supports here, they got nuked. So these are standard like support and resistance. There's nothing related to the pivots. So here's your support and resistance. There's your pivots. Now, yes, they do line up. You have a lot of them line up. Like those lined up, those lined up, these lined up. So these would be more like textbook. This is with the fast lines. I like using the slow lines. I've used the slow lines. That's more my style. And you can see the same thing with these that you see with the pivots. They either break immediately or they act as a perfect bottom or top. You just gotta let it play out a little bit. And what's beautiful about that is you guys probably are thinking like, oh, then it's not useful. It's hindsight. It's not hindsight. It's called patience. You're supposed to be patient as a trader anyway. That's what's beautiful about the pivots and the Auto SR is it teaches you to be patient. Don't just fucking take the trade the second you see the line come in. Be patient. Wait to see how price reacts to the support and resistance or to the pivot, and you will have a much better chance of winning that trade. Look at how many of these resistance lines called these tops. Look how beautiful these lines are. You just have to be patient. Look at the bottoms. Now, yes, some of them break immediately. Actually, these nuked upward, so those weren't good examples. Where do some break immediately? I need some bad examples. So even like these ones push higher. So they look like they're breaking immediately, but they're not. Because people ask me, when do these form? Are they hindsight? Like, do they repaint? These don't repaint. So what happens is, you see how this is connected to this candle? So this is connected to the red candle, the black candle. So what it does is, it starts the calculation on this candle. When this candle closes, and the next candle opens, as long as this candle, when it opens, if it meets the algorithm's like credentials, if it meets the criteria for that bar, it will make that line immediately. So as soon as this candle closes, this one opens, it makes that line. You don't have to wait for the close. As soon as it closes, the next candle opens, it makes that line. Now I can't show you this live because the replay thing will not do that. Do you trade any forex? No, forex is like the only market that I never touched. This should have been pretty... I talked with this on stream back when it happened. But this was a very good indication that we were getting nuked. Because on my slow settings for the auto SR, we only have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines. Sorry, 7. We have 7 resistance lines throughout this entire time frame. And you can see that it was very clear that this line was not the same as this or this. These are clearly bull flag lines. These are clearly pullbacks. This one is clearly a double top. Why are some longer than others? They extend until they're broken. They extend until they're clearly broken. I don't know the exact formula that figures out how long they extend. Or no, sorry, that's not true. I think they extend until another line is formed. No, sorry, take that back. They extend until another line is formed. It's the same as the pivots. So the pivots on the OTS, they will extend until another line is formed. Sorry, take back what I said before. So same thing with the pivots. Like this blue one, we did not have a blue pivot all the way until this point. That's why it's extending. I guess since we're going over the indicators, I can show you guys the new one. The new one was doing very good in this breakdown. You had warning candles, breakdown, warning, breakdown, warning. You didn't get a breakdown there, but you had one back here. You had a little fake out buy there. You had another breakdown there, beautiful breakout. These were doing very good. I think it got one on the 8 hour as well. Yeah, 8 hour. You had a failure there, failure there. 12 hour massive warning candles. Daily had your breakdown and your warnings. Weekly, very scary. Weekly is almost getting ready to form your warning or breakdown candle. We've only had 3 candles here. We had a buy candle there. We had a breakdown there and another buy here. These lines are stop loss lines. Sorry, these are not support and resistance. So you put in whatever stop loss you want. Let's say 5%. And oops. You turn on the stop loss, and it will give you a stop loss line when it triggers the bar. So those are stop loss lines. So like if you're trading with 4 hour, I recommend using like a 2% or lower. You could use like a 1.5, and you can see that when it shorts, it will give you that stop loss. So 1.5 is a little tight. So you might want to go a little farther out. 2% is usually a pretty good number. All right, let's go back to looking at price here. Do you think to see 8,300 for a nice short? Yeah, 8,300 could be, it would be our range low test. You could short 83 and then stop loss like 84, 85, and then just hold it down for the lower levels. That'd be pretty standard, just a range low test. What I like here is the bull div. I called this out in Discord. Look at this bull div. Beautiful 4-hour bull div. It's not confirmed. It's still going. It's not confirmed. But if it confirms, it could be huge. So your targets for the bull div are this level here and this level here. So you'd be targeting like 86 and 83. How did Zuo close the day? Let's take a look. We were up 125% at our peak. Let's see how he closed. Pretty decent bull flag. It should open up pretty strong tomorrow. We'll watch it, but it should have a strong open tomorrow. Pretty good bull flag. You had about a 4% sell-off from the high, but that's okay. I've been calling out Zuo on stream for I don't even know how long, like a month now. So hopefully you guys have been able to put some money in Zuo. Very easy trade. Yeah, we're currently up 100% on our option contract. So it pulled back 25%, not too bad. Not too bad. If you traded short term, they're up over 300%. So anybody who took the Zuo trade but took it more short term than I did, you're doing way better. They were up 200, 300%. I'm going out to December, so my contract's not moving too heavily. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in chat. We'll probably end the stream here in a little bit. I can take this time to take some questions. If you guys want me to take a look at anything, let me know. If you guys are new here, hit that follow button. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. I do stream 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. I will be streaming tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern. Every little bit of support helps. I really appreciate you guys being here to watch my stream live. If you guys are coming in and watching the VOD, I appreciate you guys as well. Our VODs have been doing pretty good on YouTube. Doing a lot better than I thought they would. Seeing a lot of growth on YouTube lately. Really appreciate you guys supporting me on multiple platforms. If you guys haven't already, if you look at my Twitter at the top, go ahead and give me a follow on Twitter. I do post some updates on there occasionally. But as always, if you guys want to get the most out of my time, definitely best to join the Discord. I'm in Discord voice chat basically all day, every day. As long as I'm on the computer trading, I'm in voice chat. Posting a lot of trades. We post all of our trades that we take. They're attached to my BitMEX API, so as long as the API isn't down, the trades go through. But sometimes the BitMEX API is pretty dog shit, so. It's because you put Bitcoin in your YouTube caption, it attracts viewers. That's a good point. That's a good point. I could put I've been trying to change up my titles, getting people involved. Not a whole lot of really big walls coming in on Bitcoin. You do have some walls down to like 7.5, 7.4. This is pretty standard. This is the type of stuff you see when people are buying dips. You have a pretty big take profit wall here around 87. So whoever got filled on this dip here is taking profit at 87. You can see that once this wall went down, this wall started to get bigger. So you did have the wall start to build back here, and then it got bigger over here. It actually got smaller up top here. Looks like it got bigger on the bottom. Probably hard to see on my stream. Looks like it wants to get back towards this POC, this high volume area, around 83, 84. The breakout range for the bulls would definitely be above this gap here. So above like 84.50, 84.60. That's where the bulls really need to start buying it up. Nice little buy wall coming in below price. Got about 9 million. See a lot of sell pressure coming in, not a lot of big buys. You've got a ton of big sells. Are any of you guys buying the dips on the altcoins? The only altcoin that I bought the dip on was Ethereum. I'm too... I don't know. I don't like buying the dips on those other coins. I don't like buying the dips on the... like Tron, Ripple. I feel like they bleed too much. They're too risky. It's not worth my time, not worth my stress. I can make more than enough money trading Bitcoin and trading Ethereum. I don't need to risk having a bleed out on the other coins. But alright guys, if you guys don't have any questions, don't want me to look at any tickers or anything, I'm going to call it on stream. I appreciate you guys being here for our daily stream. As I said, I will be streaming tomorrow. 3 p.m. Eastern. I don't stream on weekends, so if you are new here, I only stream on Monday through Friday. But I am available on Discord on weekends if you do need me. Alright guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern. Appreciate you guys being here. You guys have a good night. Stay safe out there. Use stop losses. Don't take any bad trades. Don't 100x. Don't 50x. Don't 25x. Don't do any of that shit. Make money. Alright guys. Peace.